justice to your time on Saturday morning, me and Saswati and Akhilesh. And later in maybe another 15 minutes from now, we would have the final fourth presenter joining us, Professor Madhu. She's from Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi. She would join us around 11:45. So the way I wanted to keep it is that I wanted to go around my panelists for maybe 20 minutes or so, 15 or 20 minutes, not more than that, talking about one or two things that, from their perspective, what they believe is happening in the market with respect to the fallout of COVID. And I'm sure, not everything is negative while the crisis is real. But every crisis has got opportunities and every crisis has got challenges at the same time. Let me take a breather, and I can see that Professor Madhu has already joined. Professor Madhu, can you hear me? I can see that she's joined. Okay, we'll allow her some time to settle down. But coming back, as I said, every opportunity, every crisis has opportunities and challenges both. Today what we are going to do as a panel is that we are going to tell you how we are experiencing from where we are sitting, the entire crisis unfold. And as I said, there are sectors like the country. They are also divided into three broad segments, I would say. One segment is green, where, green sectors, where you'll find that, in fact, the demand has gone up during the crisis. Healthcare, pharma, you will realize that any business which is IT enabled and their services can be delivered over technology, whether it is Netflix and online streaming platforms, online gaming platforms. You will realize that we were trying to write off these telecom companies before, before the lockdown started. I remember there were so many woes as far as the telecom sector was concerned, and look at how they have very beautifully, used the crisis to, propagate their business. Zone, there are companies which are going to be in orange, and then obviously there are companies which have been hit very hard, hospitality, travel and all. No points for guessing them. I think it's all over the place. Which companies are hit hard. But the only message I want to give before I go to Saswati and other people is, the only message I wanted to give through this talk today is that not everything is black and white. Not everything is green. Not everything is so red that we cannot venture it. A lot of red companies are going to get into orange. Some orange companies are going to move into green zone. So it's all happening there. And so thank you so much for joining. And with that, let me start with my co-panelists, asking them about their opinion for a minute or two. I will have two questions, 2 to 3 questions, not more than that. And then we will proceed to the question answers, which is, I think, the most engaging part of this webinar today. Saswati, my friend, thank you so much for joining. And Saswati, I'll not read, I'm surely not going to read her resume and all that, but I can tell you she's a very consummate, she's a very one of those, people who has a knack for HR. Not many people I come across in my, my peer group who have such passion for HR, and who also have so much of knowledge and view and opinion about almost everything that you can think on HR. People like me who have gray hair, somehow they have opinion on everything, but having opinion on everything and having a qualified opinion are two different things, right, Saswati?
Yeah. You're just short selling yourself and upselling me. But so we are good friends. So I don't know how he can introduce me. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I will go. She's a good friend. I can go on and on. But guys, seriously, I'm telling you on a professional front, very good friend, very good, colleague from the HR fraternity. She's currently the CHRO for Chail India, and that's part of the Samsung group. And I don't know how many hats she wears, but one hat she surely wears is the HR hat. And so and I have known her for some time now. Thank you so much, Saswati, for being here. My only question, Saswati, is your views on for the audience, which is primarily students who are aspiring to be MBA graduates, or who are probably already pursuing MBA or wanting to get MBA. How do you see this entire crisis shaping out sectors after sectors? Anything specific from your sector, Samsung, and the larger Chail India or the larger Samsung group. How do you see this whole crisis from where you are sitting right now?
Well, honestly, I think we are facing multiple crises at this point of time, Avdesh. We all know there is locust coming. There is cyclones all over the place. The place I come from, Assam, there are floods, and there is a world crisis, which is a COVID. So I think, and you and I, we have been through 2 recessions also. So I think the crisis is something which is given right now. Let's not talk about it anymore. So I think we should always talk about what opportunities. What is it that now MBA students, aspiring students or pass out should be doing or looking forward to given current situation? I refuse to call it a crisis because this is here to stay. It would have been a crisis if it was 2 months, 3 months. But now this is here to stay. So let's forget about it and reinvent ourselves. We have been, whether it is management institutes, whether it is MBA graduates, all the, and I'll speak on for the MBA graduates because the audience is that. Otherwise, I keep going into experienced professionals.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the point is that we have all 2-year PGDM course come out. Whatever money you have put in, you need to earn at least that much back. There are education loans, you need to pay that off, right? And then you wait for campus placements. So little bit of tweaking, calling industry, getting guest lecturer, all that has been happening, but that is little bit of tweaking given the way things. Now it has come to a head. Now you have to reinvent your whole DNA quickly. It's not that AI is coming. It is not that analytics. Last 2 years, Avdesh and I don't know how many panel discussions we have gone to, which does talks about gig economy. And last 2 years, I think we have been doing that. So now it's come to a head. Now it's right here at your doorstep. Now what should you be doing? Okay. So organizations, mostly we know which sectors are doing well, which sectors are not doing well. Leaving that aside, a Google search will give you that. Leaving that aside, if you, in those sectors also, if you go ahead and look for, oh, my 9 to 5 job or 9 to 10 job or 18 hours job with this kind of money is what I'm expecting, I would say check your expectations first. You really have to reinvent now. Yeah. Unlearn what you have been thinking, doing, expecting, and relearn that, okay, fine, what are my skills and where are my skills going to be relevant? Do I need to upskill a little bit of it? Some of you management graduates are very good in corporate law, right? Some of you, and those will cyber, if you are good in corporate law and you are doing your MBA, you have a knack for it, go into cyber security. So see, each one of you have to think, because cybersecurity is going to be very relevant with e-commerce coming up in the coming future, with privacy issues coming up, with social media being so relevant. So then why not? I don't think anybody thinks like that. Any person who is good in finance should not think of just a CFO role, has to think of a business role. That, okay, if I go into business, the numbers and the ROI, the revenue talks to each other. So can I contribute there? So how do I reskill myself to do that? MBA finance does not need to get into the finance department, into a finance job, right? So so that reinvention, I think, is so critical for all the freshers coming out, because the reality remains that now freshers, the relevance of freshers, by freshers I mean fresh graduates, you might have experience, is going to be pushed, or because all decisions are being pushed. Whatever you have offers you have got, might be the joining will be pushed. We are also thinking, I mean, Samsung Group as a whole is thinking, and I think have pushed the joinings. Some of them will be revoked. I have revoked summer internship for the time being, because all decisions currently are pending. Every day I am taking a new decision. Every day, as per border opening and closing, I'm calling people into office and telling some people stay at home. You know, so when in such a scenario, if you think that, okay, MBA finance, now this is my future, then that's where you need to rethink. You also need to rethink that I will get a permanent job. You need to be open to pick up projects and enhance your skills. Because see, as an organization, I need solution. And my solutions right now has to be revenue and sales related. Can you give me a solution? Are you upskilling yourself to do that? And that would be project based. It's not a permanent thing. It might become permanent in the future, but currently it will be more short term and project based. So reorient. Those thinking has to be reoriented very, very critically. Avdesh, just to, you would know, Naukri.com, everybody
Yeah,
knows.
yeah.
They have added on one service, the service is the difficult conversations we will have for laying off people. Naukri says we will do it for you,
Yeah,
and we will
yeah, yeah.
we will charge a price for it. So they
Right.
quickly picked up one need of organization and provided that service,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So,
absolutely.
and I think a fresh mind has a plethora of such ideas. I think they should quickly adapt themselves to think like that how can I be a solution giver? Then we don't care whether you are a fresh graduate or a lateral hire or with experience or whatever. You give me solution, then I engage with you. So
Absolutely.
the whole orientation, I think, Avdesh, needs to be changed. That
Yeah,
might
no,
be better.
absolutely. No, that's very well said, I tell you, Saswati, I fully agree with you that I think we need to now look beyond what we are terming as crisis, because you very aptly said if something is going to exist and coexist with you for some more time, it is very unfair to say that it is a crisis. Maybe
Crisis.
when we got hit by it, it was a
And it
crisis.
was, yes.
Yeah, see, so it's like, anything which is staying with you for a long period of time, beyond the point, you must say, oh, by the way, it is not a crisis, it is here to stay, right?
And
And
move
one
on.
more thing, before I go to, Professor Madhu, I can see that she's joined.
Yeah, I joined. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome, Professor Madhu,
Thank you. Thank you.
and very good to see you, ma'am. And
I know.
welcome to the session. And
Yes, thank
Professor Madhu, as you would have noted, all of you would have noted, she's a very distinguished professor at Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi. And I really I don't want to get into too much of details, but the only thing I will say is that she has a very illustrious career in the field of academics. And we have posted her LinkedIn profile in case you want to see what kind of papers she has written, what are her interest areas. You can look at that. And by the way, Shiv has been, Saswati, you were talking about reinventing. Shiv has reinvented and he has put your LinkedIn profile on chat box,
Yeah, she has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got into a chatting mode. So he thought, yeah, professional, so we must tell something. So
Exactly. So,
thanks, Shiv.
yeah. So students, in case you want to know more about Professor Madhu, as I said, she's a professor in finance and at Delhi University, Faculty of Management Studies. I don't think there is any conversation in the country which is going to ever end unless you mention FMS Delhi, top-notch institute. I studied just right behind FMS. I have a lot of personal love for FMS. So, ma'am, with that, thank you so much. And students,
Thank you.
in case you want to know more about Professor Madhu, you want to know more about Saswati, I don't think you want to know any more about Akhilesh. He seems to be a very popular face in Taxila. But even then, if some of you don't know, please go and look at his LinkedIn profile. It is on the chat box. Coming back, Saswati, to you, I think there is one thing you mentioned was this whole mindset of permanent employment. And let me ask a very quick question from you, and then before I go to Professor Madhu, and then probably I'll come to Professor, Mr. Akhilesh, last but surely not the least. Saswati, I personally, endorse what you're saying. Gone are the days when, people have to be reinventing and be a little more adaptable. Because if there is one trend I also see, Saswati, it is going to be all about how do you offer gig work, and especially the gig work is IT enabled, it is technology enabled, a lot of work which we specialize in, whether it is digital marketing, analytics capability, whether it is financial modeling capability. Professor of Finance is here. Incidentally, I also happen to be from a financial research company. A lot of financial modeling, risk modeling, a lot of component of statistical modeling, digital marketing. Some of these capabilities can be offered over technology. And if you are hell-bent that no, I'm only going to look for this permanent job, I have this capability which I can offer over a technology, and I'm not going to do that, then I think you are headed in the wrong direction, because at least for the short term, there is going to be a fair amount of demand for variable work. And why variable work? Because companies will try to variabilize the cost itself. So I just wanted maybe a 2-minute, expansion of your idea, Saswati, with respect to this whole gig economy and all kind of employments coexisting, and maybe permanent employment taking a little, I would say, moving into a hybrid kind of a situation. Saswati?
Yeah, so honestly, Avdesh, I think again we put terms and make it something else. So again, I will not call it a gig economy. What I'd say is, we always had, when we started our careers, Avdesh, I think you were a little later than me maybe, but you're younger. But when we started, we already had people who were on contractual jobs, right?
Yeah.
It's in the media industry, in the IT industry also. Even Microsoft for lots and lots of years had people on contract, and they used to renew those contracts, right? So it's not just about gig. Gig also means that people from any geography can connect with you and can work remotely, etc., etc. It's more about short-term project or short-term contractual project, right? And those will be given to people who bring certain skills to the table. Now, what will that skill be? Because the whole world is moving towards digital, what we call as digital.
Yeah.
So everything is going to happen over the online platform mostly. Things are not, offline is not going to die off. Let us be very clear on that. People are still going to retail shops and buying mobile phones and TVs. So it's not that it's going to die, but there's going to be shift.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if there is going to be a shift, then the online platform is where there will be more employment, if you go logically. And if there is more employment in the online platform, then your skills, whether it is HR, whether it is marketing, whether it is finance, whatever, has to be more oriented towards that. You don't need to know coding, but you need to understand technology. How can your skill be utilized in the online platform? I don't know coding, but my increments rolled out during the COVID period only, during lockdown. I have issued letters online. I have rolled out increments online. My onboarding, for all of us, our onboarding has happened online, which we never thought of. Employee experience, everything is online right now, whether it is my collaborative team work efforts, the programs that we used to have in office are all online now through MS Teams. So it's not that I know coding, but I have learned how to use technology to do everything under my purview, including digital signature of legal contracts, because I take care of the legal department also. So including that, that's all happening online, right?
Yes.
The orientation has to be that you marketing and sales is no longer about going to the client and talking to the client face to face and selling the product, or standing in a shop and selling the product, etc., etc. The whole strategy has to be driven through the online platform, because
Absolutely.
most of the employment will be there. So I think more than a gig economy, it's more about project-based work. A brand has a problem, an organization has a problem. You have a skill. I need 5 people for that. I need a project lead. I need 4 people
Right.
down him to get that project going. So I will hire you for 6 months, get it going, up and running, and then I'll see whether I can utilize your skill somewhere else or not. So
Fantastic.
that's how it's going to move.
No, that's fantastic. No, thank you so much, Saswati. I think that's very insightful, and I'm sure that I can see that now close to 100 people have joined. All of you, welcome, and very interesting. I can see that the Looks like the Zoom is all full now. With that, let me invite Professor Madhu. Ma'am, if there is one question which is coming on my mind is from where you are sitting as in the middle of the students and middle of the academic circle, what's the kind of discussion happening in your space in academics, in when you are meeting students? And while FMS is while FMS is a tier 1 institute, and I'm sure that the concerns you will have, your students will have, are nowhere compared to what some other institutes which tier 2 tier 3 may have. It may not be applicable, but what's your view, ma'am, from where you are looking at things? Professor Madhu.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. So it's good morning as of now, and thank you for the invite, and thank you for all the kind words which you were saying. Let me tell you, this kind of an event which we are comparing to a world war or a black swan, as we are saying, nobody can remain untouched. No one. It can be the best of business schools. We are all touched by this pandemic. So that is the first point. And to add on to what you have said, in spite of, our summers being done much earlier, our final placements being, having completed our finals sometime in January, February, when there was absolutely no sight of the pandemic, we are also learning to re-look at the offers made. And we are also compromising on the offers which have come. We are also accepting a salary cut in case of some organizations. You're very right when you say that. In fact, I was listening to Shashwati also. She's very right when you say that, each one of us in the present scenario has to relook at what our strong points are. And all of us in the academic side also will have to rebuild and regain our confidence also. And, in all the TV news and in all the articles, when you are there on LinkedIn or otherwise, everybody is saying we don't need to restart, but we need to reset. Yeah. I think there can be no more appropriate word than this, that we need to reset. Also, I was reading a statement by, I think it was a Genpact CEO. He said that leadership through COVID will be a moment that will not be forgotten for a long time. What this is implying is that how leaders react during a COVID, their kind of employees and their kind of people would remember this for a long time to come. And, the fact that we are a business school, whether it's a tier 1 or a tier 2, let us remember that all the businesses are struggling. So we will talk a little about the sectoral also, but I would say all the businesses are going through a little threat. And if all the businesses are struggling to take care of their bottom lines, to take care of their profitability, I think we also need to, cooperate and see how best we can also be a part of this reorganization, reset, and rethinking. When I come to the corporates, so we have heard a lot about layoffs. We have heard a lot about salary, slashing jobs, salary cuts. A lot of companies asking, the employees or the new joinees to go on an indefinite leave or a leave without pay. So, all this we are, hearing, we are reading, and we are hearing from our students also. But in this context, there was a very interesting term, which is, I would say, really going to apply to a lot of preschools, which will, also be, I would say, a way forward to what Shashwati was mentioning. How do you reskill yourself? Yeah. How do you upgrade yourself? How do you learn new skills? so that once the scenario improves, I could be a little more useful to my organization. So let me just say that, there was this very interesting word which I came across, which they said creative pandemic. Now, a creative pandemic is something which interests us, because you would know as a finance expert, every time we used to teach the global financial crisis to our students, our favorite word was a crisis is an opportunity to rethink, reposition yourself. So I would say it's a very unusual situation, but this will also give us a time to rethink, reposition how I could look at my skills. And if I would give a little advice, it's not right to be giving advice to the students, to the young graduates, but if I give a little advice to the students in terms of what could be the skills which they would need after the present situation, technology is there. So technology, we have no two opinions about it. You need to talk about digitization, all that is there. But more than anything, I would say, so more than even being technologically savvy, the adaptability and flexibility is something which will go a long way for each one of us in molding to our career. Honestly, I had also never taken an online lecture. But when I got an opportunity to go for an online MGP, and once, you could sail through with all the little hiccups, then you get that confidence, no, I can do it. And that's where I would say that each one of us is learning to the best. One or two more skills which I would like to add is, creativity, innovation, critical thinking, now which are all there, There's another skill which we were emphasizing a lot in the last 3 or 4 years, and that is about design thinking. A lot more applicable to the supply chain. But I would say design thinking is simply re-looking at the solutions. So like what was being mentioned by the earlier speaker, if I can re-look at the same solution, how I can present that solution in a more innovative way, how I can present that solution in a very different way, I think, I would prove my ability to the organization, my usefulness to the organization. So let me stop here and then maybe listen to the other panelists.
That's very, very insightful. And I think both my, both Saswati and Professor Madhu, I guess they are emphasizing on the core of reinvention. I like the word, ma'am, that you used, which is creative pandemic, so very interesting to hear that word. And I guess we actually need to get extremely creative about the way the situation is evolving around us. And I would agree with Saswati and you as well that these are the times to reposition, to reinvent, and not remain fixated with what we thought is going to work. And I also like the fact that you use the word design thinking, and it is all about looking at the current situation and current problem from a very different point of view to see if there is a different solution possible. And which is, I guess, an extension of what Saswati was also saying. How do you reinvent the problem and how do you reinvent yourself? And, very good points on, skilling and what kind of skills are needed. Thank you so much for that. As I said, last but not the least, before we open and take questions, I would like to take as many questions as possible. Ma'am, like you and one of my professors used to say that of this only question that does not get asked is the only stupid question. So students, I would like to tell you, my professor used to tell me to engage the audience and to encourage students to ask, because you may be shy, what do I ask professor of finance from, from FMS? What do I ask Saswati? She's such a celebrated CHRO. Nothing like that. Please ask anything that comes to your mind. We are here to answer your questions. And I will say that before I take questions, let me go to Akhilesh for his opening remarks, and then we will take questions and my panels can answer them. Akhilesh, how do you see this crisis, I'm very wary of calling it a crisis after Saswati pointed it out. How do you see the current situation? And A lot of government stimulus is there. A lot of physical expansion is expected. Some people are talking about the fiscal stimulus is not sufficient and all. But let me take your view in terms of how do you see the situation, and how do you see the government response, and how do you see the situation from where you are sitting?
Thank you, Adesh. See, very rightly said by you in your opening remarks, and by Sasuki as well as Professor Viz Madhu, that there were crises in the past also. Let us not take it as a crisis. In the past, we had SARS. In the past, in 1968, we had Hong Kong flu. 58, we had Asian flu. 80, we had Spanish flu. And the economist says that we had a V-shaped recovery during those years. Now, for me, it's too early to say whether we'll be having a V-shaped recovery, U-shaped recovery, or L-shaped. We definitely hope for a V-shaped recovery, but then we should prepare also for a L-shaped, right? Because the pandemic is going on, still continuing. What is going to be the last impact? It's too early to say. Yeah, what was said by Professor Madhu, that leadership becomes very, very important, that how they are formalizing the systems to cope up with COVID, right? Leadership at the national level, leadership at individual organization level becomes very important, right? Because macro and micro, at both the levels, we have to take care. Now, recession is always cyclical, you can say, it's not always structured. And the important thing is that to endorse what was said by Professor Madhu and Sasuki, I like to put few slides in front of all so that the facts and figures, the data will be there to look at it. Now, Government of India has very nicely and decisively taken actions on the non-pharma intervention of the COVID. Non-pharma interventions, you can say, the decisive lockdown. Lockdown was taken at a very early stage, and the results are intangible, right? But there are definitely the results of that. Now, after having a lockdown for 2 months, 3 months, a decisive decision is there to open the economy. I will come on these things along with some few facts and figures. The government, how they are opening up, and what the stimulus they are offering, right? I request for a slide. I think the slide will be better. Can you slide?
Akhilesh, we can't hear you. I think you have gone mute.
He is coordinating the slides, I think.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah. Just need to share screen. Also, Avdesh, I think there was a request somewhere that we should mix it up, not speak only in English. We should do Hindi, English both. So maybe,
Oh, is it okay? Yeah.
and
No,
you are very good in Hindi, huh? So.
ऐसा है मैम, आपकी तारीफ के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
नहीं, आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, मैं इतनी अच्छी हूँ नहीं, but I'll try.
अगर आप लखनऊ से आते हैं और आपका जो घर है वो लखनऊ में हो और आप अगर नहीं बोलते हैं तो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होगा।
So now it is there.
Yeah. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. And Akhilesh, I would say that if you can keep it at a high level, maybe for another 3 to 4 minutes, that would be great, Akhilesh.
Fine. I'll be a little fast. See, the stimulus package offered by Government of India was almost for all the sectors. Right? You will find micro, MSME, NBFCs, discoms, real estate. The total package is more than 20 lakhs, more than 20,000 lakhs. Next slide. Now, the fiscal package, if you see, the G20 economics, under the G20 countries, Japan offered a package of more than 21% to this GDP. The United States, 31.3%, Australia, 10.8%, Germany, 10%, and Indian government offered almost 10% of their GDP as stimulus package, right? Is one of the highest, you can say, for the COVID. And this was diversified for various sectors. financial assistance to various corporations like DISCOMs, more than 90,000 crores. The MSME sector, 30,000, 45,000 in two ways so that the liquidity crunch is going to be taken care for them. Disbursement of loans, the direct cash, food, Manrega, Kisan and various Pradhan Mantri, Gramin, Kisan Yojana and various other things for widows, for old age and various sectors. The subsidies were given. Even the gas cylinders for 3 years were offered. Direct benefits were also related. Healthcare issues were also taken for more than all the healthcare workers are going to be covered under the insurance of 50 lakhs. So a good coverage of there and the social security coverage also along with PF and various other norms to be set. So almost Government of India has covered most of the things under their package. Now let me tell you, such type of package never came in India. This is the first time that we are having such type of package. Next slide. Now the reopening of economy, if you will find, these are the segments which were in fact affected in our country. The textile, pharmaceutical, food processing, minerals and metals. Now, in the stage 1, you will find the export content is very low in these segments, whereas the opening of economy is definitely going to boost them. As far as pharmaceutical is concerned, we are going to have a new segment for pharmaceutical, you can say a diagnostic. People may not move to the labs or hospitals. Now the people will move to their home for collection of samples. Still path labs are doing it, but probably we find a spurt jump in that. The diagnostic centers are going to have a boom. Food processing is also going to have the agricultural sector will also have a boom in Indian economy later, because processed food will be a need of tomorrow. Potato sold at 15 rupees, the companies are also selling it at, as Uncle Chips or Pringles at 2,000, 2,500 rupees kg. The only thing is that you have to really identify how you are going to define your product and how you are making customer satisfaction and new innovation is a critical thought process.
Right.
Right?
Akhilesh, I would like to interrupt you, in interest of time. Is there any message from all this to the students that you feel that, and if I can ask that question, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just a little more conscious of time. Is there any message that you feel, this is, first of all, this is very good data and thank you for sharing it.
Right.
Any specific message for students?
See, the message is definitely what Madam gave, Sasuti gave. They have to reinvent themselves. They have to innovate, critical thought process, new design processes. In fact, they have to have the entrepreneurial skills, not only for a job. Whatever the skills are needed for entrepreneur, the same skills they will be needing tomorrow, because of productivity and the change will be definitely very important. And the digital platform for them is going to be very important. For example, in education sector, you will find the online education will definitely have a boom. Schools are closed, colleges are closed, but now the faculties are very acquainted with the digital platform.
Right.
So there is a shift, a change going on. The virtual teams will be needed in future. Hindustan Lever, recently they were having a big field force, but nowadays during this COVID, probably they are having a virtual teams with them. So there is going to be a shift in the job process.
Right.
Future need. That the student has to be very, very, they have to be curious about that, what change they need for future demand of the industry. That's very important. Right? And last slide, I will take 2-3 minutes more on the last slide.
Yeah.
I think that will show that how the stimulus packages works. Can you put the last slide? Now, this is a slide of last 20 years from 90 to 2020. Just see at the bold figures. In 91, the BSE index was 1000. Now, I don't say that the index only reflects the economy, right? But these gives a trend for the economy. In 91, there were real reforms in Indian economy. When the Narasimha Rao government came and Manmohan Singh was the finance minister. See the boom from 1000 to 4500, the BSE index, open and high. In 98, you will find the BSE index was 3600, and all of a sudden in 2000 it was 6151. See, there was a change in the leadership. The Atal Bihari Vajpayee government came, and it was surprise. It was a surprise that they also followed almost the same reforms which the Congress offered, right? The results came later, and you see in 2007 and 8. Later on, the moment Narendra Modi government came in 2014-15, you will find a spurt jump of 27,000, and now which came later to 41,000.
Right.
And now you will see in 2020 it was 20,600, a sharp downfall, but then again growth. I don't want to say that it's going to be a V-shaped. It can be a W-shaped also, but then here the package will work. The stimulus will definitely work. Now, this one is for 21 and 22, the placements for that, which I am really optimistic without any sugarcoating. The stimulus package, the leadership which Professor Madhu said is very important for students. They have to understand that. It's a very right time when the government came with the stimulus package, and the package is going to work in 2021 and 22. That is what, in fact, I wanted to say with the slides.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you so much, Akhilesh. Thank you for that insight. Now let me, get into taking questions. That was very insightful presentation. Thanks a lot, Akhilesh, for that, and thank you for your message to the students. Professor Madhu, there is a question for you, and then I will go to Saswati. Saswati has a question from somebody from Northeast, and he is saying that, ma'am, you are from that part of the world, and I'm also from that part of the world. I will come to you, and Saswati, you can think about the answer. How do you see opportunities in the Northeast region? Should I, are there any opportunities in that area? But let me go to Professor Madhu first. And Professor Madhu, any specific skills that you think are needed by finance professionals? Is one question coming to you.
Okay.
Professor Madhu, you can unmute your line, please.
I was trying to unmute. Okay. You have to let me unmute.
Actually, there is an echo in your, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Now go ahead.
Yeah. Could I do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, there's an echo. Maybe I can just close my mobile.
Ma'am, you are logged from two devices. Maybe that is causing the problem.
Yeah, he's logged in from two devices.
One second. Because I think is that okay now?
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying.
So the question, ma'am, is that what skills needed by finance professionals? Please go ahead.
Okay. So see, if I talk about a finance professional, I think, I would say each one of them needs to know a lot about financial modeling, algos, algorithm trading, even some simple things like a Microsoft Excel, how do you do a lot of jobs on Excel? And I would say financial analytics. So let me tell the young students that each one of them has to re-look at finance, not from a desk perspective, not from a concept perspective, but from an application perspective. So do not say that, I do not have the requisite quantitative background, so I will not go into a supply chain kind of a. So I would say that finance professionals need to go in for a lot of add-ons. So if you want a little more specific answer, there are many professional courses like a CFA, like a Kaya, like an alternative investment, like Kaya is, they're doing a lot of investment, alternative investment modules. So, anything which gives them a lot of hands-on experience is what I would, want them. One more, I would say, which I've been telling my all students also is that, after the global financial crisis, we had a lot of learning. And we found that a lot of these schools were saying, why are our students not employed? What has gone wrong? And one thing which came out from across the globe, I would tell you, is that we have not made, we have not let our students understand the importance of simulation. If I put it in a simpler word, it will be scenario analysis, alternative ways of doing the same thing. So how each one of them learns the art of scenario analysis.
Right.
And one more, if I can give you just one more minute.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. Yeah.
You know, I was reading a lot of literature on the current pandemic also.
Right, ma'am.
I was reading, you know, I think it was Accenture's report, and they had done a report on the banking sector. Now, the banking sector is of interest to all finance professionals. So, you know, they did not give a straight solution to the banking sector. They said do a scenario planning. And you know what the scenario planning is? 3 scenarios. What if the pandemic gets over in 2 months? What if the pandemic gets over in 6 months? And what if the pandemic gets over in 12 months? So you know what you have to do? You have to see whether the pandemic is U-shaped or V-shaped. And that's where the solution is.
Right.
So that would be my take.
Right. No, thank you so much. You know, Shashwati, coming to you, now he's saying that I'm almost from Northeast because I'm from Bengal. That's very interesting. Some humor added to the conversation, which is good. Shashwati, what's your view? Do you think that Northeast situation is going to be different from what we are seeing in rest of the world, rest of India?
Yeah. So Avdesh, मैं ना वो एक बच्चे ने ना पहला क्वेश्चन लिखा था, मैं वो लेना चाहूंगी पहले before I come to the Northeast, because that it gets into a different
Okay. Please,
so I think one of the kids had written that summer internship में हमें क्या करना है अभी, because from institutes like SIBM, STM, HRD, you know, who are specializing in HR, अब summer internship के लिए हम क्या करें? सब तो revoke हो रहे हैं, सब कुछ हो रहा है, right? So see, my suggestion and my experience and the fact that हम लोग भी summer internship हमने cancel किया है. We have cancelled. We had summer internship. We have kind of cancelled. We have not even pushed it. Cancel किया है. वो simply एक reason के लिए था. Summer interns के लिए हम लोग project पहले से सोच लेते हैं. Many times, because Avdesh and me might take 5 minutes to think of a project. Someone might take a little more time, but हम सोचते हैं. वो प्रोजेक्ट हमारे लिए नेसेसरी होता है, हम ऐसे ही कुछ नहीं करते, because it's very difficult for us to train a fresher on something, right? So we actually think of an ROI when we think of the project. It can be secondary, primary data collection, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Now, अब जब मैंने cancel क्यों किया? Because the kids, and I usually opt for tier 2, tier 3. Samsung opts for tier 1, SIEL, Samsung Electronics. Simply because of that, I opt for tier 2, tier 3, because I think everybody should be given a chance. So now in that scenario, मैंने इसलिए cancel किया क्योंकि जो the graduate, she didn't send me an abstract. I had sent her the topic, right? She needed to give me an abstract on her thought process, that what will be the solution. I had a problem and I gave her that problem and I told her, send me a solution. She did not, she could not, didn't have the time, didn't think it was important, because universities are now saying, I don't know for sure, but I think they are now saying कि ठीक है, pandemic है, summer internship नहीं हुआ, यहाँ नहीं हुआ तो वहाँ कर लो, या some such stuff, that kind of stuff maybe, I don't know, maybe going on, but she was not interested. She didn't give me an abstract. So my request and advice is, ask for the topic, whatever it is, send your solution. Your summer internship will happen, because see, I need to see an ROI. मुझे ROI नहीं दिखेगा, I am not going to spend time now in anything else except what leads to productivity, what leads to cost efficiencies, what leads to leaner, agile, kind of a futuristic mindset. इसके अलावा किसी चीज में मैं time spend नहीं करूंगी except to lean it down. So it's on you how you want to engage with me. One way to do it is show your this thing, and you cannot one letter, everybody goes with the same skill set to all different organizations. You cannot do it. Samsung की need, Samsung Electronics की need कुछ और है, Cheil की need कुछ और है, आपके हेल्थ केयर इंडस्ट्री की नीड कुछ और है, इक्विटी की नीड कुछ और है, मूडीज की नीड कुछ और है, सब अलग अलग है. दिस गाय Avdesh has got 2 different verticals also, one very specialized and one overall. दोनों की नीड्स अलग है. You have to customize yourself. नहीं तो ये internships cancel होते जाएंगे simply because organizations do not have the bandwidth right now. And by right now, I mean the next 6 months. Baki to everyday decisions are changing. So it is there. The internship is there. You have to now be a little more proactive.
Agree.
I think
Any
that's-
quick comment on Northeast?
Yes, quick comment on that is also, see, Northeast is like any other part of the country. I think right now the crying out saying that Northeast has been marginalized, Northeast ye hai, Northeast wo hai, and West Bengal ye hai, those times are gone. My batchmates who are, and in fact, my batchmates, imagine, so who were actually come out of Northeast and are in very good positions in different organizations. Some of them who was, in fact, I can give you one example which you guys can relate with. Cham Kanu Mahante, he is my batchmate. He joined ILFS, Indian Leasing and Financial Services. He was VP there. He went back. He started his own project. He invested in power grids in Assam and Northeast, and now he is into event and experiential marketing. Northeast Festival. Everybody knows of Northeast Festival. That's a very premium property, in fact, event property, which brings Northeast to rest of the India. He is the owner of that. So, you know, it's up to you. Stop now crying about Northeast and West Bengal being marginalized and some part of Bihar and UP being marginalized. End of the day, it's up to me how I am channelizing my skill. I'll keep coming back to what I have been saying. What is your strength point? Please focus on that. A degree helps only to that extent.
Right.
And after that, it's you and your skill and your mindset. The more you work on it, the more opportunities will come, whether you are in Northeast or one part of Bengal or wherever. Yes, Northeast and West Bengal might have its issues of internet connectivity and all, but that I think will take time to solve. So come out of it.
Absolutely. No, I think this is very good. Thank you so much, Saswati. I will take one question and quickly answer myself while it is for Professor Madhu. You know, this question, ma'am, is would it be beneficial to clear CFA level 1 before entering into a B school or before entering into, for that matter, industry as well? I come from financial research company, and we do place a lot of importance on MBA finance, and we take chartered accountants and CFAs as well. I can tell you that if you clear CFA level 1 and you have that interest in making career in finance, it's a good idea. It's a great idea. I personally have a lot of regard for the rigor that the CFA program brings to the table. And why only CFA level 1, which is, you know, fairly easy to clear. I would say that while you are doing your B school, you can look at CFA level 1, level 2, and maybe level 3 is a little tough one to crack. You join the industry and then you can clear your level 3 as well. As far we are concerned, you know, what we've seen is that, in fact, we promote and we subsidize CFA education ourselves. We run a education, you know, support program for our employees, where CFA is one of the qualifications we promote, especially if you are going into private equity valuation, financial modeling, and risk analytics. And if you are trying to make a career into core finance, then going through CFA level 1, 2, 3 is a great idea. So I answered that, Professor Madhu, on your behalf. I hope I have done justice to the answer.
No, you have absolutely bang on. In fact, I would say GARP is another very good course, Global Association of Risk Professional.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's also a very good course. And the other one which has come these days, as I just mentioned, was Kaya, alternative investment. You know?
Absolutely.
So, except that CFA has a higher rigor on finance.
Yeah, and also more recognition, I would say. More popular.
Absolutely.
Okay, Akhilesh, one more quick question and a quick comment from you. There's, you know, somebody Charul is saying that I think that the government is going to privatize more, and obviously there is no. See, government has been wanting to privatize for a long period of time. Every time you look at disinvestment program of you know, the government of India, you know, unfortunately, I would say it has never met its target. You know, I don't know whether this is a very good time to privatize, given the fact that a lot of companies valuations are running very low. The stock market has taken a beating. There's some kind of a recovery which has happened from 7,500. We are back to 9,500. But in that context, do you think that, you know, privatization is going to give some is, some relief to the fiscal situation of the government? Very quick comment, Akhilesh, from you.
See, this direction is since long, since many years, the government, both the governments, whether it is Congress, whether it is BJP, they are talking about privatization, and ultimately this is going to happen, right? The role of the government will be only to govern, rule, regulations, and formulate the policies and take care for the general public at large, and that is what is the best.
Right.
As far as the productivity concerned and the organizations are concerned, the privatization definitely is going to be one part. You will see the classic examples like aviation is already almost in the hands of private sector. The health industry is also nowadays, you will find, is going totally in a private sector hand. The education already primary sector is in the private sector. Middle education as well as up to secondary education, you will find totally the private sector is dominating. Now, by the movement of private universities, the higher education is also going to be in the private sectors.
Right.
As far as the other industries are concerned, that also is in front of you. The oil sector, classic example, very soon they are also going to be in the hands of private sector.
Right.
If government really genuinely manages and governs, make the policies and procedures which really are helpful for the Indian public at large, that will be very fine for the government.
Right.
So ultimately, this is the national highways. Tomorrow you will find, because of COVID, the automobile sector recently had a slump. But nowadays, the automobile sector is setting up for new production because they feel the people will buy more mobiles, more vehicles. Even the national highways or the state highways, they are going to be privatized, and more private buses will be there. They will be permitted to run so that they have a social distancing now.
Okay.
They are able to follow that. So you will find more number of stations with local trains, railways already on PPP model. You will find number of trains are moving. So this will increase definitely, and ultimately it's going to pay for.
Right. Right. Okay. I will take only 2 to 3 more questions in interest of time. This one, Saswati and Professor Madhu, I want to come to you. I do have a view because Saswati will relate to this question. We get asked this question on multiple forums, and I want to pick up this subject, this question. The essence of this question is that if I happen to be a student where my graduate degree is somewhat very divergent from being a management degree, like for example, I'm a doctor, somebody is asking a question, I'm from medical background. But for a larger audience, let me rephrase the question by saying that you may be a doctor, or you may be a, say for example, you may have done a BA in arts, fine arts, and then you decide to do your MBA marketing and all. So Saswati, the question is that a lot of these students come and say, oh my God, my degree is in fine arts. What am I doing in management? Should I do it or not do it? Any quick comments, Saswati, and then I will go to Professor Madhu based on your experience of this whole. Is there a core skill which is required in management which is agnostic to the graduate degree that you carry? Is the real question, Saswati?
Now, well, honestly, this is a question which keeps coming up and up and up.
Yeah, it keeps coming.
Yeah. So my experience says that many times we get into a management degree and a specialization just simply because of peer pressure. Okay, so it is just say in our days it used to become a doctor or an engineer. Then it became a management, become an MBA degree zaruri hai har cheez ke liye. Now keeping that aside, cut that aside. You did your graduation on a certain subject for a certain reason, right? If that leads you to a management degree, please go towards it. If it does not lead you to a management degree, don't do it. If you are a doctor and you want to be an administrative head someday, rather than just do the healing part, then a management degree helps. Because then you are learning leadership skills, you are learning financial calculations, you are learning human team management, etc. In a more formalized professional environment, right? In a 2-year rigorous training. So if your aspiration or your career aspiration is inclined towards that, do that. But if you're, for example, I have done MBA plus law because my point of time that, and these are both full-time degrees. This is because I felt law helps in my pursuance of being a HR professional, all the statutory compliances, legal, and now I head both the departments. right? Including business contracts. So it has helped me in my career, and that is the reason I went for it. I didn't go for it because everybody was becoming a management graduate or everybody was becoming a lawyer. That was not the reason. I think that you should take a step back. There is a question here which says that should I now not enroll in management institutes because of the pandemic? I think it's a wrong question. The question is what you want to do after getting your degree. That's the question which never gets answered. Do you just want to get into a job? What kind of a job? Which kind of industry?
Yeah.
What motivates you? What are you passionate about? You can do, believe me, I have seen people do, things which I would have thought, oh my God, I never thought about it. These are things people are doing nowadays. Professor Chandra had said that, entrepreneurial mindset can be implemented in the job also. Let me tell you, inside the organization also, you don't have to be a standalone entrepreneur to have that entrepreneurial mindset. And that is the requirement of the day, because every day things are changing so fast. And with the online platform coming in, Samsung launches in this pandemic also, they have launched two phones in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's like technology is changing, everything is changing. Now the shift is towards online. Then we also need to be very, very fast. And for that we need to know what exactly is it that what we want to do. Take a step back, think about what you want to do, and then move into any degree, whether it's a management or X or Y or Z. That's the answer.
I think you answered, Shashwati, you answered two questions. I was about to come to you or,
हमें पता था तू पूछेगा जरूर.
हाँ, मुझे
पहले
मैं आपसे पूछ सकता हूँ. मैं हिंदी बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि हिंदी बोलना है. मैम मधु मैम, आपको क्या लगता है कि किसी भी स्टूडेंट की जो बेस डिग्री है, चाहे वो MBBS हो, चाहे वो मतलब कितनी भी डाइवर्जेंट हो, फाइन आर्ट्स, जैसे मैंने कहा फाइन आर्ट्स हो, कोई पेंटिंग करके आया है और वो मैनेजमेंट करना चाहता है, तो उनको क्या वरी करना चाहिए कि मेरा ये जो मेरा जो साथी है उसके पास तो बीटेक डिग्री है, उसके पास बीकॉम डिग्री है, मैंने तो ये फाइन आर्ट्स में BA किया है, मैं अब मैनेजमेंट करूंगा, मार्केटिंग कैसे सीखूंगा? कोई आपका विचार है मैम इस पे?
बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. मैं भी हिंदी में अब जवाब देने की.
हाँ बिल्कुल, आप हिंदी में जवाब दीजिए.
तो मदर टंग हिंदी है, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं, पर आप लोग आदत पड़ गई है ना वो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में वर्ड्स यूज करने की. मेरे हिसाब से बहुत ही ब्रिलियंट क्वेश्चन है. आजकल की जो ये यंग जनरेशन है उनको आंसर करना. और मैं आपको इसके बारे में बता दूं कि जब इस साल तो हम लोग इंटरव्यू नहीं कर पाए हैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स का, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कैट स्कोर ही लेना पड़ा है. पर जब हम लोग इंटरव्यू करते हैं, और बाकी सर भी जरूर ये कहेंगे ये बात, डाइवर्स बैकग्राउंड से स्टूडेंट्स लेते हैं. और ये आज से नहीं, पिछले 10-12 साल से MBBS तो जिसको कहते हैं ना कि इट्स लाइक अ प्रिफर्ड ऑप्शन. सो वी हैव हैड स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव क्लियर्ड MBBS दिस ईयर, इंटर्नशिप भी कर ली है, एंड दे वांट टू चेंज देयर. जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज की इनफैक्ट इसमें कोई कमी नहीं है. सो वी हैड इनफैक्ट, आई रिमेंबर अबाउट 10 years बैक, उससे भी ज्यादा, एक लड़का बहुत ब्रिलियंट था, आई थिंक लुधियाना कॉलेज से उसने MBBS करा था, अपना ब्रिलियंट लड़का था, एंड अल्टीमेटली ही वेंट टू द बॉस्टन स्कूल एंड ही वाज पिक्ड अप बाय अ फार्मा कंपनी. तो अगर आप कहें ना, जैसे ये आपकी ग्लेनमार्क है या रनबैक्सी, in fact a lot of the FMCG sector also, I think they sometimes pick up these different candidates for their R&D profile. Right. So English language has been a very sought after, I would say. Economics, commerce तो ठीक है, हम लोग सब समझते हैं, but English है, fine arts as you said, and all, I mean, maybe whatever is, it's no, I mean, the other professions which are not even coming to my mind as of now, all of them are well thought, well sought after, because MBA mein, I don't know whether to say it or not, but we have started having too much of engineering profession, because ये जो हमारा CAT है, जो टेस्ट है, ये स्ट्रक्चर ऐसा है that it favors the quantitative background. But a lot of B schools have started giving a less, like I know a lot of IIMs also started giving not more than 60% weightage to the CAT school. It is
Right, ma'am.
because you want that diversification. So I would really say go ahead and go for your passion, do whatever course you want, and MBBS have a great future after doing an MBA, because let me also add, a lot of B schools have, in fact, we were the pioneers there to start the healthcare administration course.
Right,
And
right. No, absolutely, ma'am. No, I
healthcare
would agree with you.
I mean, and many years back, when I had just started my career at, at FMS, so we had these high, profile kind of candidates from Lady Harding and a Maulana Azad, who were doing their courses from FMS apart. So they were not really leaving their MBA professional.
Right.
In order to do an administration along with whatever profile you have, you need to have this. So
absolutely.
I would say,
I think that is very well.
absolutely.
That is very well put, Madhu ma'am. I will endorse that. Let me tell you that we as a company, or any companies that I have worked for, we have never really bothered about whether you are a fine arts graduate or you are a doctor. What I'm interested in, as Saswati said, whether you bring the skills and the passion, and do you bring that critical thinking ability on the table for you to go through the work which is assigned to you. So, there are people who are fine arts graduates who could be extremely good at critical thinking, and there are people who have done stats and, they may not be as good as others, So that debate is rested, but this question keeps on coming. So it's good you asked that. Now let me do one thing. I will go to all my panelists, final remarks for the students. I think they are looking up to people like us to tell them these are the times of I would say these are times of uncertain, economic, situation. What is your message? Last maybe 1 minute each, and then we wrap up the discussion. Maybe I'll start with Akhilesh, go to Saswati ma'am, and then go to Madhu ma'am.
Sure. See,
Akhilesh, last 1 minute.
I'll continue on this topic what Professor Madhu took. See, whether it is MBBS, engineer, BA, BCom, BSc, or BCom, any stream, the need of management, you have to manage everywhere. Right?
Yes.
Even the multinational company needs an arts graduate, because ultimately multidisciplinary approach is going to take a very good shape when organization will be needing talent with them, right? An art student is also important, commerce student is also important, medical is also important. Even doctors are asking various consultation, even if he is a practicing doctor, he asks about the decoration, designing of a clinic, right? The relationship with the patient, the staff relationship, the HR, IT, finance, everything is involved in a clinic, small clinic also and big hospital also. You will find Fortis, you will find Escorts, Apollo, they have changed. They are professional institutes, right? Hospitals. The entire business models are there. So the requirement of management education, even with doctors, is very important. At least they should understand the thought process and the management streams, right?
Right.
Dental chains, you will find 200 dental chains of a single organization like Clove Dental at Delhi. Almost everybody, they are having a short modules of a management stream, so that they should understand that and go up. Because the moment you are doing anything, you have to manage. So management becomes very vital and very critical. The only thing is that you have to be productive, you have to optimize the resources. The only thing is that use of man, machine, and material is going to be tech oriented, and you have to see that how you can produce at a lesser cost and provide better services. And compete competition, that's all. And innovate. So this is what you require. That's all, because you are giving me only 1 minute, so I can't say.
Yeah, no, Akhilesh, that is very well said. That is very well said. Men, material, machine is all going, all
along
going
with tech. Now the technology is going to have more.
Yeah, obviously, you have taken me to my first year management program, what is management, and I'm now reminded. The only problem I have with that word men, I think we need to get it more gender neutral, Saswati, what is your message? What is your message to the students? 1 minute, please.
Yeah, okay. So I think the one thing I want to leave the thought process with is that yes, companies are laying off people. Yes, we are going to be focused on productivity and leaner and agile organizations. Having said that, Having said that, we are not, I have, like I said, I have rolled out increments during the lockdown, right? So having said that, there are also organizations who are rolling out increments, who are not cutting salaries, who are not laying off people in large scale. What we are doing is, currently also, what we are doing is we are laying off redundant roles and skills. And I come back to the same thing, that if you make yourself redundant, then whether it's a pandemic or a no pandemic, you will be laid off at some point of time. So how to be relevant? Pandemic, no pandemic, doesn't matter. Crisis, no crisis, doesn't matter. What you need to know is in a scenario like this, or X or Y or Z, what is it that you need to do to stay relevant? So just
That is very
quickly
well
get,
said.
yeah,
That is
quickly
very
get
well
into that. Quickly get into that and forget everything else. Forget job milega, nahi milega, ye hoga, wo hoga, sab aayega. Just focus on how to stay relevant given the circumstances. You have got such esteemed professors with you. I think it's a piece of cake. Just get into it.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, guys. I can't take any more questions. I can see chat box. I can't take
It's
questions.
full of questions.
Madhu ma'am, last
1 minute.
you know,
Yeah, I'll also take. See, let me let me sum up by saying, the new normal, which we have been talking about, will not be a straight line. It'll be a bumpy ride. So that is my advice to the young students, that, the pandemic will ensure that, there are going to be waves. So if I talk in terms of an advice or some kind of guidance here, my advice would be, whether it's your career or whether otherwise, plan for short term, but keep a long-term perspective. Keep a long-term perspective. And remember, in a crisis, many times you will have questions for which there will be no answers. Even most of us would not give you an answer to a question.
right.
So that is my take on it.
Right. Okay. So with that, let me thank Takshila Business School. Let me thank Federation of World Academics. Let me thank Shiv Sharma, who managed to get people like me and Saswati and chasing us to come here and speak. And not easy. Professor Madhu, thank you so much. And Akhilesh, thank you so much for hosting us. I think you are part of Takshila. So Federation of World Academics, Shiv, the Education Post magazine, everybody, thank you. But let me tell you, I think the big thanks go to all the students who are logged in and who are listening to this conversation. And we wish, on behalf of all my panelists, I wish you all the best. As Sashwati said, remain relevant, remain ahead of the game. And in Hindi, if I can say, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि बहते हुए पानी को कोई नहीं रोक सकता है. अगर आप रुक गए तो फिर जैसे दिल्ली में ना डेंगू होता है ना, वही होता है फिर. तो अगर आप जब तक बहता हुआ पानी हो, तब तक आपको कोई भी नहीं रोक सकता है. With that, let me end the conversation and thank you everybody and have a nice Saturday ahead.
Thanks, Avdesh. Very nice meeting you, Dr. Akhilesh and Dr. Madhu.
Thank you all the panelists.
Namaskar. Thank you so much.
Bye, students.
All the best.
Thank you.